Welcome to the program. Today's society is becoming more stressful by the day, and about 90% of diseases are caused or complicated by stress. But stress is less about what happens to you and more about how your mind and body respond through your lifestyle. So you're going to join Dr. Deji Osasona, a physician, psychologist, wellness coach, and author, as we discuss stress and health in our program today. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Augustine. And thank you, listener, for having me.
Augustine, and I shouldn't talk. Okay, now let's first start to identify them one after the other. What is stress?
That's a particular word that a lot of Nigerians, especially Lagosians, don't like hearing. But the truth is this: you can shy away from it. It's here with us, and possibly will remain with us due to development and technological advancements. But in any case, stress, like most psychologists have defined it, is actually anything that puts you in a state of entropy. You are out of control. But recent development, especially by positive psychologists and even a lot of physicians now, they've tried to redefine it to make it more appropriate to our today's society. And I will want to put it in a simple term for Nigerians. Stress, essentially, is not what happens to you that makes you lose control over a situation, but your mind and body response to what happened to you that makes you lose control over your quality of life. You get that?
That gets very complicated because
okay.
If I'm living a life, I live a life of perceptive or assumptuous expectation, or what?
Well, this is the concept. This is it. Challenges, demands, pressures will always abound in our society.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, they say that in Parkinson's Road, the more you have, the more you want to have, and the more the pressures, the more the demands. Moving from point A to point B will always be full of challenges.
Okay.
So what we're saying is this: people should stop looking at those situations as stress.
Okay.
But your mind and body response to that situation is the stress. So in essence, we are saying that stress is essentially your body's response, or your mind and body response or reaction to a situation or a particular happening that you feel is out of your control. So in essence, it's more of a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle response, a lifestyle reaction.
So the way you make your bed is the way you lie on it.
Yes, you get it.
But do people take advice when they tell? Somebody might just say, I'm stressed. You know, people are so used to using such extreme words, negative words. And sometimes they say, when you express such thoughts, especially Christians, they like to say, it's the way you think that you might end up being.
Yes.
So do not proclaim negative language, rather proclaim positive. How do you put all of these into perspective?
I always say this, especially from the religious perspective, because, you know, our country is a very religion-inclined society. And in order not to hurt some people, let's be simple and straightforward. Really, the truth is this. The situation can be challenging, and a lot of people will want to call that stress. For example, I'm in a road traffic, I'm stressed. There's a deadline. And you are required to finish it under 2 days, what will take you 2 weeks. I'm stressed. And my husband decided not to talk to me again or decided not to drop money again for the past 3 weeks. The woman will say, I'm stressed. A student will say, I'm stressed because he or she has not prepared enough for an exam. And the exam is tomorrow morning. I'm stressed. But what we're saying is this. The situations are there. Most times we cannot really control them. But your mind and body response, in terms of your mind now, the way you think, the way you feel, what the words you're saying inside, your internal conversations, then your body response in terms of your activity level, your nutrition, and a lot of other things, your leisure. These are the things that actually pose as stress on our system. What we're saying is this: stress is actually anything that makes you lose control over your response to life. Life happens. In fact, musicians will say shit happens.
Am I right to say stress is anything that makes you lose control over your happiness?
Well, in another sort of definition, you can say that.
If you look at what is happening in Nigeria today, is it a stressful thing? Is it stress related, or is this
in Nigeria today? The truth is that we have myriads of stressors, but not everybody is stressed. A good example: Mr. A and Mr. B are both at a crime scene. Okay. Mr. A is the armed robber. Mr. B is the victim. The appearance of policemen poses a stress on Mr. A because he's the armed robber. But Mr. B is relieved. Now, the same situation or different response. Another good example, Mr. A given a deadline to finish a 2-week work in under 2 days. But because of his nature, his background, his experience, and how he has mastered himself, that triggers him or stirs him up the more, and he enjoys it. His body or his mind is not responding to it as stress. It's not registering it as stress, and therefore we could conclude it.
Let me take it back to the crime scene.
Okay.
What about the victim of the crime?
At that point that the policeman appeared, there's a relief.
There's a relief, okay.
There's a relief. Oh, thank God. Finally, at least, police will do something. Then I tell you, the armed robber, no matter how equipped the armed robber is, internally, he's no longer balanced. He has lost control over the response to the situation.
What about stress regarding or relating to when you do not expect anything to happen, but you don't know what is going to happen next, but you know there's a problem around?
Uncertainty, unpredictability.
Yes.
And that's actually the crux of a lot of anxiety disorders and depressive illnesses in our society. Unfortunately, they have already said that, as a matter of fact, World Health Organization predicted already that depression is going to be the second leading killer disease by 2020, and the leading killer by 2030.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Because of the escalating rate of depression. And that's why the issue of uncertainty needs to be understood by a lot of Nigerians, because is it the socio-economic crisis? Is it the insecurity? Is it the inflation? Is it the traffic? Is it the overcrowding?
And sadly now, the wahala about bombing here and there.
Insecurity and crimes all over. So we always have these things around us. That's the truth.
How do we manage that?
That's where stress management comes to play. That's where wellness comes to play. We must all come to the point and realize that it's less about the situation and more about your response to the situation. That's what defines happiness also. Happiness for Mr. A might not be happiness for Mr. B.
So a phrase like "it is well" is a tonic.
Yes.
Towards managing stress.
Yes, it is well. There's something we call self-talk, especially for those that talk to themselves a lot. If you are the type that you are hell-bent on using negative conversations, whether with people or even within yourself, what we don't know is this: the human subconscious mind cannot differentiate reality from imagination. If you imagine it or it's real, your subconscious mind cannot differentiate between the two. And that's why someone will have a nightmare that maybe a masquerade or a dog is chasing him or her and wakes up and sweating heavily or profusely. Okay. It has not happened really, just a nightmare, and it's sweating heavily and panting. The subconscious mind that interprets a lot of events cannot differentiate between the real event and the imagined event. So it depends on how you respond to it. Tomorrow, there might be insecurity all over, there might be crime all over, and bills might be hanging over there for you, deadline and the rest. In fact, some people resuming work on Monday is enough fear for them. But what we're saying is this: that's the truth. As a matter of fact, a lot of statistics have alluded to the fact that heart attack rate is higher on Monday than any other day.
Really?
Yes, because of anticipation of work, fear of work.
Well, some of us look forward to seeing or meeting our guests. Our friends at work.
Thank God for you. You are doing what you love, and you love what you do.
Oh, my God.
So that's what we're saying is this. Yes, uncertainty, unpredictability, which is actually the crux of worry. We say in psychology that chronic warriors are people that cannot stand an atom of unpredictability or uncertainty. That's the crux of a chronic worry.
Okay, let's look at the countries around us and the countries that we have trouble spots around the world.
Yes.
And the people who are in such trouble spots are still managing to survive or coping with the troubles. In some places, there are those who cannot even think about the trouble before they just give way. That's an abnormal society.
Yeah.
Then you have a normal society. Supposedly is a peaceful place, everything is moving well. Then you're talking about going to work on Monday, there's anxiety. Then debt is a problem. Meeting obligations is a problem.
Yeah.
And other things like that. How should we then begin to manage these myriads of problems staring us in the face?
Thank you very much, Augustine, for that question. And that's where my main message is. A lot of times we focus on what we don't have control over.
Okay.
Really, you and I, do we really have control over suicide bombing?
No, but I don't want to be. I don't want to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
God help.
Yes, yes, and that's all our prayers. Okay, but the situation is this: you don't have control over a lot of things we worry over.
Okay.
We don't have control over a lot of things we fear.
Okay.
We don't have control over a lot of pressures, a lot of demands, a lot of challenges. But how you respond to it, you have control over it. And God has made it in such a way that, like the Bible says, there is no temptation or trial that is bigger than what you can withstand. So, based on this premise, if you cannot control a situation, then why focus on it? Meanwhile, what you focus on expands. What you focus on, you attract. So, focus on your response to this situation. And this brings me to your lifestyle.
Okay.
All over the world, globally now, diseases associated with lifestyle is on the serious rising rate. As a matter of fact, in developed world, 80% of death are attributable to chronic diseases of lifestyle. In Nigeria and also some developing countries, we rarely talked about non-communicable disease like chronic disease or lifestyle before. Our major problem were infectious diseases.
Yes.
We're talking about malaria, we're talking about TB, HIV, and the rest. But statistics, even though we are not that good with statistics in Nigeria, but the few ones we have, especially from World Health Organization, clearly shows that there's a rising rate of what we call non-communicable disease or chronic disease of lifestyle, especially the cerebrovascular diseases like stroke, like hypertension, like other forms of heart diseases, including diabetes, cancers, and a lot of them like arthritis and the rest.
So you call them lifestyle.
Yes.
Resulting from what kind of lifestyle, by the way?
Okay. Well, there's this model I developed. I call it the wellness model.
Okay.
Wellness being the conscious state of staying healthy and achieving the highest potential of your physical, mental, emotional, and social well-being. So if you want to enjoy wellness, all right, there are 8 lifestyle windows to your mind and body, through which challenges of life, demands and pressures of the society or work or family encroach your mind and body to hijack your health or even your happiness and productivity. So in essence, what we're saying is these 8 lifestyle windows, if you keep them short, challenges or in the general balance now, stress will not be able to gain entrance to your mind and body to hijack your health, your happiness or productivity. Or if you carelessly leave them open, that is, you allow the situations happening around you to hijack these 8 lifestyle areas of your life, such that it's like a remote control. You become like a machine, which most of us have become nowadays because of technological advancement and too many challenges. We are more or less like machine, remote controlled. I wake up in the morning, bang, 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 bang. Don't care about what. The next thing is work. As coffee is coming, chips are coming, you gobble everything, gobble. Put this pressure on you, you succumb to it. Oh my God. The next thing, you are looking for something to just give you that fizz feeling. You gob it, you really rest, you really create time for watching your weight and this. So these are the ways these situations hijack our lifestyle. They are the 8 lifestyle windows.
All right. So what happens when you were talking about is it 8?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so to just quickly list these 8 lifestyle, you can call them lifestyle windows.
Mm-hmm.
You can call them lifestyle habits.
Okay.
The first one being your weight and fitness.
Okay.
And this time around, we're not just talking about weight loss, though inclusive, but we're talking about your fitness.
Okay.
Weight and fitness. Then the second lifestyle, we're talking about your emotions. I'm going to give you some powerful, revealing statistical fact and scientific fact about emotions. It's a new trend in medicine now.
Okay.
Emotions. Then the third lifestyle is your leisure. How you manage your recreation and relaxation time. You manage your time for leisure. Aristotle said that the goal of business is leisure, just like the goal of war is peace. So leisure, very important. The fourth lifestyle area is your learning.
Okay.
Are you able to move away from challenges to pick up the lessons in them and turn them to your daily way of living, your routine, your habit, and not getting stuck?
Okay.
Okay. Then the fifth lifestyle, we have the nutrition. We have in this one. There is no basis for argument on this area. Everybody knows that we are losing it when it comes to nutrition.
Exactly, because poverty is also determining the rate.
Yes, poverty, but a lot of times is ignorance.
Ouch.
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
A lot of times it's ignorance. Then we have the sixth lifestyle, which is environment. That's very, very critical. A lot of people don't really know that the way they lay their beds, in quote now, is the way they lie on it. Your environment, from your office table to your kitchen, to your exposure to nature, to flowers around you, a lot to do with your health.
Okay.
Then your sexuality.
We'll just take a short break now.
All right.
Dr. Deji Osasona is our guest. He's a wellness expert. He has a book which he calls From Stress to Wellness. I was so fascinated by the book when it says 8 lifestyle habits for a healthier, happier, and highly productive life in today's challenging world. But tell me, people are looking for money, and those who have all the money, they're still not happy. What's going on?
I mentioned Parkinson's rule the other time. The more you have, the more you want to have. Let me share a story briefly with you and our dear listeners outside there. And a lot of us, we know this story, but for those that don't know about it, it's a story of Bill Clinton, real life story of Bill Clinton. A lot of people see Bill Clinton today traveling here and there, speaking, motivating, leading, and the rest. This is a survivor of several heart attacks.
Several heart attacks. Wow.
In 2004, Bill Clinton had 4 different episodes of heart attacks.
Wow.
Despite surgical intervention after each episode. The first episode he had, there was surgical intervention. Thank God for the kind of country he was born into and he lives in. Second time he had it again, under 1 year. Surgical intervention. Third time he had it, surgical intervention. And despite that, fourth time in 2004.
To say in Nigeria, they will say in Juju. He survived all of that.
In fact, after the first one, I doubt he was in Nigeria. He will still be alive.
Well, he comes and goes out of Nigeria. Thank God for that.
So I doubt that. But after the fourth episode, his wife just had a flashbulb moment that no, it can't be surgical intervention that will serve as a solution to this. So she started researching, and that's how she came across 2 doctors, Dr. Caldwell Eisenstein and Dr. Dean Ornish. These are cardiovascular surgeons, but they are also into holistic medicine. They focus on lifestyle. Dr. Dean Ornish is known today for reversing a lot of heart attacks and even curing it, having about 67% success rate. What surgeries don't even record.
That's good.
It has up to 67% success rate with lifestyle therapy, lifestyle modifications. So it's these 2 guys that move into White House, study Bill Clinton's lifestyle from nutrition to everything, those 8 lifestyle areas. And they were able to pin down 3 as the stressor on his heart, as the stress on his heart. They picked the first one as his nutrition because of the kind of duties he engages in. There's something about stress. Once your stress level is high, that's why we say it's all about the response. Your brain releases some chemicals that make you stay mentally alert or relaxed. But when your stress level is that high, your brain starts asking for sugar and fat.
Okay.
That's where a lot of emotional eating comes to play. A lot of junks, a lot of binge eating. Your brain.
But can't we control those who provide those junks? Because they are just making money out of people's distress.
Oh, well, it's even much more than people making money through what people eat. What about a lot of drugs companies?
Wow.
We're going to get to that.
Wrong
also.
drugs, for that matter.
In fact, the right drugs also. The right drugs. But back to Bill Clinton's story. His wife was one that brought him. These 2 people, they studied, they pinpointed 3 areas, 3 lifestyle areas, is nutrition. Bill Clinton was notorious with burger eating, beef burger. He eats any meat.
Mr. President.
Or let me say he ate any meat. Thank God he has changed now. It was so serious to the extent that they went shopping. His security guys had to force him.
Not to take.
They had to take law into their hands to restrain him from picking too many burgers.
Wow.
He didn't know. You know, this thing, you can become addicted to it.
And that's the president who had everything at his beck and call.
Yes, but you know, the job role is very, very mentally tasking. So, junk eating, especially with meat. The second thing was that he was running on an emotional strain express lane. That was not quite long after that, he had Monica Lewinsky saga.
Oh.
Not quite long after that, he had an issue with his only daughter, Chelsea. So, his emotions were more toxic, the negative emotions, than the positive emotions. Then the third aspect of it, but we're not going to the third aspect of it. Now, what did they do?
Why are you not going to it?
Why? Because that one is deeper.
Okay.
That one is deeper because of time.
Okay.
All right. So, what did they do? Because they achieved results. If they didn't achieve results, it won't become a big thing to the extent that Dr. Sanjay Gupta, the CNN chief medical correspondent, who is also a neurosurgeon, did a documentary on this, and is a multiple award-winning documentary. It's titled Last Heart Attack. Listeners out there can Google it. The Last Heart Attack by Sanjay Gupta. It's all about Bill Clinton's health story. After these 4 surgical interventions, despite the surgical interventions, he had 4 episodes of heart attack in 2004. When these 2 guys came in, just with lifestyle modification, removing the stressor on his heart through his nutrition, removing the stressor on his heart through his emotions, there wasn't a repeat of heart attack from 2004 to 2009. Wow. That he now had only one. And after then, he has not had a repeat since 2009.
And he's about 68 now?
Yes. And he travels around. His book, his speaking engagements, so tedious.
Wow. All right. This is the point where we're going to take a short break. No, not a short break. I'm not going to take any more break. I'm just going to ask you to phone, call, send those messages to us. Hello.
Hello, sir. Is that Inspiration FM?
Yes, it is. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm Regina. Good to hear your voice.
Nice to hear your voice. Yours is very husky. Go ahead. Where are you calling from, Regina?
I'm calling from Ikotun. I'm right about now. I didn't go to church.
Oh.
I just got to listen to this, and I think all I'm going through has to do with the stress issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Thank you, Doctor. Hello.
Hey, Eugenia, how are you?
Regina.
I'm fine, thank
Regina,
you.
okay.
Yes. Okay.
Nice to have you on.
Yeah, the story of Bill Clinton just took me off. Like, I couldn't believe it, you know. I think I have to go Google and find out some more.
Yes.
Now, the point is there any special stress that has to do with women and men? Because I cannot believe that there's some stress that it's always believed around this part of the world that women know how to retain, stress, and they could cope with it. Is that true? That's one question. And another thing is there any specific way of life that you could say women can do this and that, and then they would have more stress than the men, or either way? Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. To simplify it, that's why I came up with these 8 lifestyle windows, because you can be giving people bullet points. Don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this. And that alone can be boring and turn to stress on its own. So I decided to bring everything together, integrate, and call them the 8 lifestyle windows. Once you are just conscious of this, that these are the windows to my mind and body, I need to keep them short. Your weight and fitness. I always tell people, exercise is not just about weight loss. There's something exercise does to your system that is as powerful as an anti-malaria. If you have malaria symptoms in the early stage, it has not fully knocked you down. If you don't want to take drugs, I've done it for several clients. If you can decide for the next 3 days to jog or do brisk walking for 45 minutes, such that your endorphin levels rise. That's the feel-good hormone. Your DHEA level rises. That's the youthful hormone. Then also, it raises up your free oxygen radicals a bit. It helps in attacking this malaria parasite. And a lot of anti-malaria also works in that similar version. I've done it for several people with exercise. When your malaria is still at an early stage, the malaria will vanish within 3 days.
Okay. I'm going to suggest something. Do you want to take notes, because the phones are screaming? Do you want to take note of some of the questions?
Okay.
So that you can answer them one after the other. But I'll take another question. Hello. How are you?
Hello, good afternoon.
That was a stress move you made, but go ahead.
Oh. This is Tolu from Ikorodu.
Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, doctor.
Hey, afternoon, Tolu. How are you?
I'm all right. I just wanted you to mention the first thing on the Clinton's case. I mean, that could just be my own stress issue, you know.
Okay, I'll do that, Tolu.
All right. Thank you. And we have another caller, and this is hello.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Fine.
Bring down the volume of your radio. Yes, Ikotun, go ahead.
Good afternoon, doctor.
Afternoon.
Please, I want to ask, there is one thing that happened to my brother.
Okay.
It started last year. It's like, because the day he was just sitting at home, do you understand? He started behaving as if he want to run mental.
Okay.
So they hold him down. Like 10 minutes later, he was now okay. So like 2 months time, I think he came back again. So we have my other staff to take him to psychology hospital. They
Psychiatric
checked him,
hospital.
they did everything. They were like, 'cause when he was 6 years, he had an accident. So they like, maybe the thing that affected his brain. So they
Okay.
prescribed some drugs. We got everything. But now, recently, they just called me now that it didn't happen again.
I will explain to you why you are having recurrence, especially it's common in Nigeria and it's just unfortunate. I will explain very soon.
Okay. Hello.
Good afternoon.
You know what to do.
Yes, so I do. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead, my dear.
God bless you,
God
Doctor
bless you.
and Uncle Sonny. My name is Cecilia.
Hi, Cecilia.
Yes, what I want to say in addition to what the doctor has said is that what I say to friends is that you are your best doctor, okay? And the point is most people are not disciplined when it comes to intake of food. We can manage our health very well. I have used myself as an example. I don't eat meat. I don't. Red meat in particular is the body killer. I just want to use this opportunity to say to everybody that you are simply your best doctor. You will be able to pinpoint what is wrong with you at any given time when you're able to monitor what you're taking. God bless you and have a great Sunday.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I just love us Nigerian listeners. You people are so great. Without you, this program would not be anything. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon, my brother.
I need to find out if the stress can lead to slowness of heartbeat.
Slowness of heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Uncle Sonny.
Yes, hi.
Please, a quick one. He didn't finish his 8. He stopped at 6.
Yes, I'm aware of that. We're going to conclude them. He will even reiterate the 8 points again.
All right.
That's a promise, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. And that's, how many have you taken now? Okay, I'll take another one. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. This is Taiwo calling from Arimuchi.
Okay, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. I want to ask a question, sir.
Go ahead.
Like when there's somebody they take to psychiatric hospital and the person is using the drug, but sometimes it doesn't normally use the drug. What are you prescribed for that person as an alternative to be doing in that time that he's not using the drugs?
What was the condition where they took him to psychiatric hospital?
It's not as if the person is like he's mad. But it's like he's just having a condition that there's something working in his body. The person is doing
Okay. He's
what he's concerned about is that something is working in his body.
Okay, all right.
And the person is a psychiatric.
We call that psychosomatic illness. All right.
We'll take note of that. And another one. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah, my name is Sangari. I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah. Can stress cause gray hair?
Okay.
I like that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
What I want to know, because if it can cause gray hair, because me personally, at my age now, when compared with my elder brothers, all my body is full of gray hair, and I'm trying to find a way to reverse it. Because now at least I'm emotionally balanced, and my stress level has really gone down. And that gray hair that is just giving me worry. So I want to know whether there's any way it can be reversed.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, how are you?
Good afternoon, Uncle Sonny and Dr. Osasona.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Bodolu Bore. I want to ask you a question. I want you to clarify something, please. The energy drinks that we often drink in Nigeria, what is the implication? How good is it or how bad is it for us? I want you to say something about it.
God bless you very much for that question.
I tried it once a few years back, just one can, and I had a terrible headache. I didn't realize it was the energy drink. I took it like 2 days later, terrible headache until probably subsided in my body. And I noticed that I think the caffeine in that drink may not be good for this country.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have a lot of questions.
Okay. All right. Are you noting them?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Uncle Sonny. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Hi.
Afternoon.
Just a quick one. Well, I just
What's your
tuned
name?
in. The
What's your name?
supplements recommended, for us to take if we don't take the right food, because obviously we're very busy. And is it good to take supplements, basically? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's allow you now to take those, questions. And we'll then take a short break after that.
Okay, so let me quickly see the ones I can just quickly answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, our dear listeners, for the questions. That's why this show is exceptional. Thanks to Osasona.
Thank you.
So the first caller talked about the peculiarity of women and stress. Women can absorb more stress. Now, this is it. There's something we call emotions being energy emotions. Now, why I say emotions are energy emotions is this. Like we all know in secondary school, they taught us that energies cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another. The challenge with a lot of men is this. We try to suppress our emotions. And you can't really suppress emotions. The best thing you can do is to convert it from one form to another. And if you don't do that by yourself, it does that by itself. That's why we have a lot of transfer of aggression by men. Trying to suppress, you are converting it from one, just like you convert sound energy or hydro energy to electric energy. Just like you convert mechanical to sound energy. You can convert frustration to anger. You can convert disappointment to bitterness, to violence. These are them. But ladies tend to expose or express their emotions. If God didn't design women to be expressing their emotions, they are more at risk of emotional stress, negative emotions. So, but thank God, by nature, they always express it. As a matter of fact, talk is a therapy on its own. It's therapeutic. In UK, 2011, the UK government incorporated talk therapy into their national health scheme, health insurance. And allocated about £400 million just for talk therapy alone. Unfortunately, we are not yet there in Nigeria.
Develop my talk therapeutic capabilities.
So we need more. We need more of that. We need more of that in Nigeria. Unfortunately, we are not yet there. And maybe I should quickly answer the question of the lady that called about her brother having recurrence of the same condition. Most likely, the condition she was referring to is schizophrenia. One thing I found challenging in Nigeria and so funny in Nigeria is that our psychiatric hospital focus majorly on psychiatric medications and interventions. We have psychologists or psychotherapists there, but I have a client presently that the psychotherapist, so-called psychotherapist, the only thing he was doing for this woman was just saying, are you taking your drugs? Are you this or that? Please take your drugs. If you have any, just call me.
Well, she needed some...
We have therapies that are proven scientifically and psychometrically. CBT is there, EFT is there. But people, they don't do
CBT?
this. Cognitive behavioral therapy.
And what's EFT?
Emotional freedom technique. There are a lot of these therapies that they should complement psychiatric doors. As a matter of fact, I always say that psychiatric doors are just good for acute management, emergency management. For example, I had a graduate, electronic engineering from the school where I graduated from. I never knew, but they just referred him to me. 4 years, no job, not for a day. In fact, the guy would tell me when he became stable, he would tell me, doctor, if I could just get a job for 1 day and let them sack me after. It was as terrible as that. So for 4 years, no job, we 2-1. Suddenly, he started withdrawing from his sibling. He's the firstborn. But the parent didn't know, ignorance. They thought he was not responsible. How will you be withdrawing from you? You are not showing good example for your siblings. Not knowing that it's an early stage of a particular psychiatric illness. Until one day, they wanted to have morning devotion. Pounced on his mother, strangulated his mother. I will kill you. You are the witch. You are stopping me from traveling out. You are stopping me from getting jobs and the rest. But thank God the father was around who rescued the mother. They rushed him to psychiatry. But he was there for 3 months and the drugs were manifesting as other side effects. We're calming him down, but other side effects were coming until the pastor referred him. And luckily, thank God, we did 12-week therapy and it's good now. He's gotten a job. He's doing fantastically well as a consultant, not even his technological or technical job now as a consultant. What am I saying? The essence of psychiatric drugs is to calm the patient down, take care of the acute symptom, take care of the emergency phase. But subsequently, we have what we call psychotherapy that will sustain it and social support. If these two are lacking, drugs take care of only symptoms. They never take care of the root cause.
So the psychological side must always be
must always be there, or else there will be recurrence.
Now, okay, looking at it from the home point, what should the parents of such person be doing? How can they try to manage the emotional side?
Family support is very, very crucial. Apart from the fact that it's scriptural or it's spiritual, it's emotionally stabilizing, okay? It's mood stabilizing. Then that love environment alone, there are scientific backups for this, okay? A good example, serotonin becomes low in the system when you feel that you don't have love of your families or your friends. Now, when serotonin is low, the person starts feeling too sluggish, too docile, too relaxed. They don't want to relate with anybody. They don't want to engage in any activity. They lose their motivation. And that's one of the background of a lot of cravings. That's why I tell a lot of women, you are fighting the battle of weight loss.
How do you also manage self-doubt, lack of faith?
That's the 8th lifestyle window to the human mind and body that I call spirituality. That's the last S of that wellness model, okay?
I'm sorry, I just have to take a short break. This is where we manage these programs, but keep these points in mind and all those questions that were asked.
Yes. So let me just quickly answer the variance in the stress tolerance for men and women. Okay, so essentially, men are not high on emotional diseases, in quote now, like depressive illnesses.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, it's recorded globally now that depression is the leading killer disease for women globally. not the leading cause of death, but the leading killer disease. Presently, the leading disease among women.
So,
second,
luckily we are managing them. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Men don't easily come down with depression, but they have their own. They transfer theirs into behavioral dysfunctions. So a lot of men have issues with financial control, self-control over their finances. Essentially, when we talk, you can trace it back to an emotional issue that they are living on. Some people, their mind is in a so much distorted state that they cannot really put their thinking together to conclude a project. So there are a lot of variations in that, but essentially what we're saying is this: stress-related disorders are more in women. We have a lot of statistical evidence of the link between breast cancer and emotional stress also. As a matter of fact, a University of London study over 17 years recorded that emotional or poorly managed emotional reactions to stress is a more dangerous risk factor for heart diseases and cancers than chronic smoking and obesity. In fact, when WHO took up the study, they discovered that it's even about 6 times stronger as a risk factor for heart disease and cancer than chronic smoking and obesity. So we are having issues with emotional stress, and it's more in women. We have more breast cancers in women than the equivalents in men.
So, okay, let's look at eating habits.
Yes.
You said exercise is very good as well.
Weight and fitness, that's the number one lifestyle.
Okay.
You must live a physically active life. Your body is designed to move. I always ask people, if the last time you jump is more than 3 days, you are not doing a good favor to your bones. Because there is a role. The human skeleton remodels itself, auto-replaces itself every 3 months. And once you have crossed the age of 35, your bone density is dropping as a result of deficient nutrition, nutritional absorption, and even your stress level that is mopping up these nutrients. So in order to
people like
help your bones to remodel, you
have to remodel them. So what I think I should take, apart from also doing the exercise that's required.
Yes, brisk walking, swimming, cycling. There are a lot of clubs. If you are struggling with motivation, join a group or come together. Just get your body active. Not overdoing the exercise because it has its own repercussion. Once you're if you are too much into aerobic exercise, once it's getting more than 1 hour per day, your free radicals rise. The level of your free radical rises in your system. And that alone is a precursor for inflammation, which is at the root of all disease. Every disease is traceable to a level of inflammation, the level of free radicals in your system. And that's why we're saying that drugs are not the solution. They are good for acute or emergency.
In fact, what you're just saying is like one is between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yes, what we say is
be at the right spot at the
30
right time.
to 45 minutes alternate day.
Okay.
You are good to go.
Not every day.
Or 15 to 20 minutes every day. You're good to go. It doesn't have to be this high intensity one. Just walking fast, brisk walking every day, 15 to 20 minutes, or alternate day, 35 to 40 minutes, and occasional high intensity so that you don't get bored or you don't enter into fitness rut. So that's just it.
Okay. Some people were calling because...
And we have a lot of questions that we have not answered.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Maybe I should just quickly go to Bill Clinton. They want to know what was done for Bill Clinton, especially the first one. Now, I mentioned that he was let me call him an addict of meat. But what they did was that they suspended every animal intake for 6 months, for the first 6 months.
Wow.
Only on plant-based diet. And a lot of researchers have proven this. Okay? One secret to plant-based diet is this. There's what we call body pH for the immune system. It's the balance between your body acidity and your alkalinity. Majority of the food we eat in Africa are acidic, the carbohydrates and a lot of animal proteins.
Well, that's what we know.
Yes.
Especially those who are just who live in the forest and the farmlands.
Luckily for them, they were very physically active.
Yeah.
Stress level was low in those days. So they could afford to eat that because they were balancing it, and they really took in Western diet that are full of a lot of preservatives. They were exposed less to radiations than the rest. Generator exhaust that is virtually everywhere in Lagos and the major cities in Nigeria. So they could afford that, but now we can't afford that. And that's why we are having the rising rate of hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, and the rest. So essentially, that's what they did. After the first 6 months, they reintroduced a bit of the animal-based diet, but majorly, Bill Clinton till today is on plant-based diet. And I know one of the popular men of God in Nigeria today that almost had the same thing. And today they're switching over totally to organic-based diet, imported majorly from Germany and the rest like that. Well, that's for Bill Clinton, and he's enjoying his life today. Okay, somebody mentioned about energy drinks. Let me quickly go over energy drinks. It's a major issue in Nigeria today. I will say this story in 30 seconds rather. A friend of mine, very close friend of mine, an optometrist, who suddenly at the age of 36 or thereabout, 36, 37, was diagnosed of hypertension. Wow. So the doctor told him, if this thing doesn't come down, we're going to start your medication, which the doctor was right. 2 days after he went back, and the doctor wanted to comment on it, he said, please, hold on, let me speak with a friend of mine. So I told him, okay, just listen to whatever the doctor say, then we'll see later in the evening. So we met and we decided to work on his lifestyle. I said, let me do a lifestyle x-ray for you. Let's see which area of your life is stressing your heart. At the end of everything, there's a form for that and the rest like that. We identified something. Energy drinks have about 2 to 3 cans per day. Why was he doing that? He worked then with a private eye clinic. Then he was running his own. Then also he's engaged with somebody in Ikeja area. So from Ikoyi where he's working to VI where he runs his own clinic, then to Ikeja to quickly finish something. So he has to be on the road and he
on daily basis.
On daily basis. So he has to be on energy. So and the idea, the perception they sell to the society is energy drinks. So it was pumping.
But what is the Minister of Health doing? I mean, for goodness sake, if these things are not for the benefit of the average human being.
Let me give you scientific evidence. What the caller made mention of, or he wasn't really aware of it. A can of energy drink in Nigeria presently contains about 6 times caffeine concentration in a cup of coffee.
What? And coffee alone, when I take coffee, I don't sleep for days.
And now, I tell people, you want to live the lifestyle of a European. Number one, they are white. We are blacks. We are more muscular than them. Our heart chambers are made up of muscles. Caffeine drives your heart's muscles into a lot of contractions. At the moderate level is okay. But when it's too high, you are overdriving your heart muscles. It's a matter of time. A goat that is pushed to the wall will turn back and bite you.
Oh my God.
That's the reality.
Okay, now we have just very little time left. I'd like you to round off this quietly and quickly, but finish the points you're trying to make. And I don't know how you're going to do that, but please.
Okay, let me just skip over to nutritional supplements. Nutritional supplements are very fantastically okay. The truth is this. Once you are crossing 35, even when you eat balanced diet, your system cannot fully absorb these nutrients. There are some essential nutrients, especially omega-3, that your body cannot produce, and you cannot get adequate amounts from a lot of these things. You cannot get adequate amount of omega-3 from fish, or else you'll be pumping too much of mercury into your system if you eat too much of fish also. So you have to depend on external supplement, nutritional supplement. It's just that you must be careful you don't overdo it and you don't follow the commercialization of nutritional supplement. Just be careful with it, but you need omega-3 because omega-3 is one of the things that save our memory. A lot of people are battling memory loss. Omega-3 saves your memory because when your free radicals level too high, as a matter of fact, heart attack, there are tests now that you can predict if you're going to come down with heart attack by determining your free radical level. We call it plaque test. Okay? So what omega-3 does is this. It helps in mopping up their antioxidants. They help in mopping up a lot of these free radicals. Although the best form of antioxidant is glutathione.
These things, the moringa and soursop.
There are a lot of herbs that help a lot as antioxidants.
Are they really good?
Moringa, fantastic.
Okay.
In fact, one of the common fruits that we have in this environment, not for those that can afford, the berries.
Ah, okay.
They are very fantastic with antioxidant role because they have a high level of glutathione. And that brings me to the issue of another thing that is common in our society that I need to quickly point out.
Yes.
The issue of diet drinks, apart from energy drinks now. They say, diet drinks, it doesn't have sugar, low sugar, zero sugar. Let me tell us the truth. Sugar is terrible because it worsens inflammation in your system. And this is what leads to aging and a lot of diseases. But we have artificial sugars also. So when they tell you diet drinks, what they are saying is that it's artificial sugar that is there like aspartame. Now, the problem of aspartame is this. Aspartame increases the omega-6 level in your system. And omega-6 attacks your glutathione, which is meant to help you in mopping up the free radicals that lead to inflammation and aging. Okay. So we're getting it. So when omega-6 is high, there's a problem, and aspartame will do that. But when you want to go for diet drinks at all, just look out on the label. Nigerians must cultivate the habit of food intelligence or drink intelligence. Look out for stevia. Stevia is one of the real sweetener that is healthy and not dangerous to the system, not aspartame. Okay.
Okay.
So much to say, but just to manage time and under 1 minute to wrap it up, we have your weight and fitness. You just have to be physically active. You have your emotions. The more you are loaded with toxic emotions like unforgiveness, like fear, like worry, the faster you are aging and downward trend for your organs. Your leisure, you must enjoy quality sleep. Any young adult that is sleeping less than 5 hours per day is prone to the redistribution of fat around his waistline, pot belly and the rest. And you know, pot belly is one of the biggest enemy of the heart. Okay? So you need to manage your time by all means, no matter how busy you are, for quality sleep, for time with your family, for laughing, belly laughter, belly laughter, the one you laugh deep down. It helps in relieving a lot of things.
I used to read a book, the Reader's Digest short magazine, said laughter is the best medicine.
Yes,
okay.
It's very, very necessary. Then the fourth lifestyle is your learning. You must be able to change your perception, the way you view your world. If you are not able to, is how fast you are able to move on from your challenging situation. Pick the lesson you are meant to pick and apply it in living the rest of your life. That's how fast you will heal from a lot of challenges, emotional and the rest.
And the fifth one?
And you will not get stuck in it. Fifth one is your nutrition. One thing I want to mention to Nigerians here is your breakfast, the most important meal of the day. Unfortunately, in Africa, reverse is the case. Our dinner is the most important, and it's killing a lot of us. That's why we are having a lot of people having sudden death. Your breakfast should be the most important. It's important to your immunity.
And the sixth one?
And weight loss. Then your sixth one, the sixth lifestyle area is your environment. The way your environment is, in fact, I like saying that your surrounding space determines your mental space. And environment covers exposure to nature, exposure to sunlight. Don't just stay in air-conditioned house, to air-conditioned car, to air-conditioned office all through. Early morning sun, you need it for your vitamin D, for your bone, for your mood stabilization. Seventh, your sexuality. This is more than sex. Sex is important, like 17 health benefits of sex between two couples. Okay? But beyond that, your sexual identity, your body image. A lot of women and even some men, their body image is what has eroded their self-esteem. And your self-esteem going down, you will struggle with keeping.
What do you mean body image?
Okay, body image is, when you have a healthy body image, it's all about accepting your body for who it is.
Okay.
And appreciating it. Okay. It doesn't mean you are neglecting the weaknesses or what you don't like about the body. Okay. But you first accept it as your body. You are not denying it.
And then manage
appreciate it. There's when you appreciate it that you can change what you want to
change. Don't listen to what people say about it.
Yes. Okay. And the fashion of the day or celebrity, your nose shape must be like this, your boost must be this size. No. Okay. And the last one is your spirituality. This is not about religion. It's not about going to church or going to mosque. It's actually about connecting with your deeper self, which is your spirit, to give meaning to life in the face of demands, pressures, and challenges. And when you are able to give meaning to your life, derive joy, gratitude to God in living this meaning and applying it as a service unto humanity and God. We are talking about gratitude. We are talking about purposeful life. We are talking about faith, hope. We are talking about the right attitude to living. These are the 8 lifestyle windows, more in the book.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much indeed. And I hope you really enjoyed it. We're going to try and bring Dr. Deji Osasona once again in the course of this program, maybe in the next 3 months or so. SONI IRABOR Live is always fully booked. We're happy about that. It means we're doing something right. And thanks, of course, to your family, #1 family radio station, your official family radio station, Inspiration 92.3 FM. And again, GETTV. This is the only radio show that is broadcast, televised as well. You know, this is interesting. GETTV, Tuesday 8 p.m. and Sundays 1 p.m. And you on the Startimes, yes? Okay. So thank you very much. Keep fit, eat well, be happy. Laughter is the best medicine.